So yeah, I'm going to talk about the top news here, which is the arrest of the LOUVRE heist suspects, and this happened on Charles de Gaulle Airport. So this is October of 2025, and in the beginning of October I started talking about nuclear, and I said that I've said a lot about nuclear, and I'm making the case that the world news has this underlying pattern of this. And so, yeah, I've been showing you the top in entertainment with Chainsaw Man having a connection to nuclear weapons, and now we're looking at this LOUVRE heist, and it's all about nuclear weapons when it comes to this arrest. So, who is Charles de Gaulle? Well, if you look at his Wikipedia, you'll see that he is involved in the nuclear armament of France, and the historical moment when France became a nuclear power. And so this is so fascinating that I talk about nuclear weapons as of October, and we see here the most, this is maybe the most important news. What you see up here is like, oh, this is top news. So when I'm talking here about the top news. I'm I'm doing something very normal when I talk about the top news. It makes sense. It's per definition sane what I'm doing here. There is an interconnectivity in the news. We saw Russia shoot a new nuclear missile. We saw the new prime minister of Japan having a history in Fukushima. And this is not a conspiracy. No. You don't have to be thinking about the conspiracy. It's actually much scarier than a conspiracy. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm scared of this. I'm just telling you that if I would see this from the perspective of a regular guy, I don't know what to call it, I would say that, okay, this is not really what anyone wants, okay, how it is here in the world. But of course, I think it's fine, okay. But so the top news is indeed connecting to the nuclear war, nuclear power, nuclear, yeah, this stuff. And if we read the Wikipedia article, so yeah, like the suspects of the Louvre heist was arrested in Charles de Gaulle Airport in October, in late October, right? I guess it was October 26th, I guess. And so, like, who is that guy? Well, he is central when it comes to nuclear power or nuclear weapons, not nuclear power, but rather nuclear weapons. And this is how it is. This is a fact. This is there's even an entirely dedicated section in the Wikipedia article for Charles. And yeah, Charles de Gaulle. And you see here, You know what? I'll read this because I know that there are some people interested in history and all of that. So let me read this to you, okay? This little part of the article. As early as April 1954, de Gaulle argued that France must have its own nuclear arsenal. Full-scale research began again in late 1954 when Prime Minister Pierre Mendès France authorized the plan to develop the atomic bomb. France's independent force, the FRAP strike force, came into being soon after de Gaulle's election with his authorization for the first nuclear test. So yeah, he's central to this. With the cancellation of Blue Streak, the US agreed to supply Britain with its Skybolt and later Polaris weapon systems, and in 1958 the two nations signed the Mutual Defense Agreement. Although at the time it was still a full member of NATO, France proceeded to develop its own independent nuclear technologies. This would enable it to become a partner in any reprisals and would give it a voice in matter of atomic control. After 6 years of effort, on 13th of February 1960, France became the world's fourth nuclear power when a high-powered nuclear device was exploded in the Sahara. In August 1963, France decided against signing the Partial Test Ban Treaty because it would have prohibited it from testing nuclear weapons above ground. France continued to carry out tests at the Algerian site until 1966 under an agreement with a newly independent Algeria. France's testing program then moved to the Muturoa and atoll in the South Pacific. In November 1967, an article by the French Chief of General Staff, but inspired by de Gaulle, in the Revue de la Défense Nationale, caused international concern. It was stated that the French nuclear force should be capable of firing in all directions, thus including even America as potential target. This surprising statement was indeed intended as a declaration of French national independence and was in retaliation to a warning issued long ago by Dean Rusk that US missiles would be aimed at France if it attempted to employ atomic weapons outside an agreed plan. However, criticism of de Gaulle's was growing over his tendency to act alone with little regard for the views of others. Okay, so de Gaulle, he wanted to do his nuclear stuff and so on. He was central to France when it came to becoming a nuclear power, the fourth nuclear power. And so this is, let me give you an explanation here to what this is about up here. Well, when people see this about the pride of France being taken, the crown jewels, and they see Charles de Gaulle, they feel a sense of national pride, and they feel a pride, the stolen pride is directed towards Charles de Gaulle, which is a representation of nuclear weapons. But they don't know that. This is, the unconscious. And I'm trying to show you what's happening. And it's all over the place. And I started talking about this a long time ago because I'm able to see these things. Now it's here, it's even more present, it's even more intense. And so People move in a way by some kind of great design. Even the bad guys, the bad guys move according to this beautiful design, so that there is a beauty in the whole. I'm trying to tell you, okay, maybe you think this is horrific. I'm telling you there is a meaning for them. Basically what I'm telling you is that I'm doing 4D chess, okay? That's what I'm telling you. And it's for real. And I started talking about nuclear a long time ago. And yes, this is, I'm showing you the evidence of the 4D chess. And this is the result, and it's in the mind. This is in the mind, and as I said, even the bad guys, they play along, and everyone play along to the great orchestra. And here's another good example. Okay, so the Gaulle was made fun of by Russian or Soviet art, political art, or I guess you could call it propaganda. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And this again ties together with where I started talking about this, with the art in revolution, which is a 1917 expression of revolutionary art in connection to the socialist revolution of Soviet, and also called the October Revolution. And so back to the memetics of October, nuclear October, where I started talking about this. So it's like the circle is closing in a way, I don't know how to say this. It's like okay, we're starting to get to where all of this started, with, and that's when things arrive where they began. It's indicative of life cycles, and it means that this is alive. This whole memetics is alive. Okay? A circle, a feedback loop. It's similar to life itself. Many things are alive. And so I would say right now that, yeah, like it's like the nuclear thing is becoming to be conscious almost, and um, and we can also see this in connection to the new movie Chainsaw Man, where there is what is it called? I'm sorry, my words doesn't come to me right now. So I guess it's called an antagonist. So you have something called nuclear weapon devil in Chainsaw Man, which is a living entity in Chainsaw Man. In the same way we see this play out in the Louvre heist and the arrest at Charles de Gaulle Airport. People are looking at this, I'm telling you, people are unintuitively seeing the connections. They see it with their unconscious mind. It's not only me, I'm talking about it. I'm able to talk about this. I'm able to see this long before. And yeah. I'm telling you, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. We had the largest nuclear power plant in Ukraine being shut down, blackout. Largest nuclear power plant in all of Europe is in in Ukraine, and it was shut down. We had an explosion in Tennessee, where Tennessee is the place, and that became world news. Okay, again, I'm reminding you that talking about the top news is sound, it's sane, and when you see a pattern in the top news, again, it is sane to see a pattern that is indeed there. I'm telling you this, Charles de Gaulle is the focus point of this news, and France feels a sense of pride to Charles de Gaulle, a representation of nuclear weapons. Okay? And so, yeah. Meanwhile, we had a lot of things happening on October 22nd, which is my birthday, where Russia tested nuclear ornaments. You know, they made a drill at least. I think that's when they did that test of the nuclear rocket on October 22nd, my birthday, okay? And meanwhile, you had North Korea doing multiple ballistic missile tests on October 22nd. And I think it was something more, you know. Now Sweden is selling Gripen to Ukraine, and a lot of military planes, and I'm from Sweden. So also when it comes to October Revolution, it has connection to Red October and the hunt for Red October, which is a nuclear submarine. The opponent to Red October in the movie and in the book is called Dallas. Note that Dallas is the place where JFK was assassinated. This connects to the modern time equivalence, Charlie Kirk, which I made a drawing of 3-4 days before it happened. I made a drawing of the murder scene. In the same way, I'm making drawings of the nuclear things before the interconnectivity arrives. So it's all alive. Everything is alive. And that's not really what you want to hear, because you want to hear that there is a conspiracy. A conspiracy is more pleasant because it puts someone in control, someone at least in the human species, you know, or because if something is alive, it is together with something else. A lot of things can happen to things that are alive. Like, for example, when a fetus grows in the womb, there are skin between the fingers, just like an amphibic animal, you know. But then this skin just is destroyed. This is the nature of living things. It is like this. But at the same time, there is the concept of love, right? Which is holds everything together, you know. So yeah, that's how it is. So everything, I mean, when I see this, everything makes sense, you know. And it's all perfect. And it's all pointing to nuclear weapons, you know. Everything is pointing in that direction. And it's not a conspiracy, guys. It is not what you want me. Like, I'm able to show you this, and as someone that is able to show you this, and in addition is able to make drawings of these things before they happen, I'm going to tell you, no, it's not a conspiracy. No, it's not. I'm repeating. There's no conspiracy here. The way that you want to find the conspiracy is rooted in the fact that you want people to blame. Someone has to carry the sin, you feel. Someone who should do the and this pursuit, the pursuit of the scapegoat, leads people to the belief that there is a conspiracy. Someone is doing this, when in fact it is much worse, or maybe much better. I don't know, it depends how you see it. Right now, I mean, it feels pretty good to me, you know. I'm able to make drawings, and then all of the top news is going to be about that. And then I can tell you this is consistency, and I'm going to tell you that inconsistency is insanity, and voila, you are insane if you don't believe me. You see? Because I'm showing you the evidence. I'm showing you the interconnectivity of the top news, which is not cherry picking, and I'm able to show you the underlying pattern, which makes it sound sane and correct. Yeah. At the same time, I'm telling you that there is not a conspiracy, there is no one to blame. And we see the desire to blame everywhere in the way. One way is the way that people has uniforms. The uniforms is a way to depersonalize yourself, to make yourself something else, carry a mask, you know, these things. And so you could say that the uniform, any kind of uniform, is a phenomena of the desire to find someone to blame. And yeah. So yeah. Okay. I'm just going to end this video now with a quick summary. Charles de Gaulle is like, that's the focus of the world news. The world news has to do with LOUVRE heist. It's a big deal, you know. It is the top news. It is in the minds of millions. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, what's her name? Perry, the singer Perry. Oh, you know, I'm not going to talk about that now. I made you know. So this is just going to continue, guys. It's just going to continue. I mean, it's like there cannot be top news without this. That it's not even possible anymore, I don't think. And it's October 27th at this very moment. Soon October is ending, and maybe I'll stop talking about this. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you, France is putting their mind into nuclear weapons via Charles de Gaulle, and it happens unconsciously, okay? It's not that there is a debate here, no, there's no debate. It's just automatic, you know? It's just poetic. I don't know what to say. And then we have Russia doing their things. We have US, you know, Russia did their nuclear test, right? October 22nd. US just in the summer of 2025 they bombed nuclear sites in Iran, and then they invited Qatar into US to build some sort of almost military base inside of the US. And so there is this underlying activity everywhere. And yeah, okay, I'll end the video now. So, you know, I've been able to show you now that, yeah, Charles de Gaulle is about the nuclear armament of France. It's just so perfect. Okay, bye bye.